You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Glee After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Glee After Show.
Just a small town girl. Living in a lonely world.
It never gets old.
She took the midnight train going anywhere.
Sarah was rocking out to that, I have to say, when we were watching. But
Oh yeah, well Marisa was rocking out to it too.
all right, well, I
Was Roxy rocking out to it?
Yeah,
I mean,
We all were.
we all agree. It's amazing. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ's Glee After Show. So let's start by introducing the panel. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Roxy.
I'm Sarah. And I'm Marissa.
We are so excited about this episode. It is, of course, Season 5, Episode 13, and it's called New Directions. It's kind of part 2 of the 100th in a lot of ways. We still had all those characters back for this episode, so it was a fun one, for sure.
I'm glad they did 2-part kind of episode special, because seeing all of our favorite original cast members back for just one episode is not enough.
Yeah,
Right.
it would have felt short and, yeah, exactly, not enough.
Would have been
and-
a tease.
And the 101 is just as important as the 100.
Yeah.
And they proved that tonight.
Let's make it 102 and 103 with them.
And 470, I know.
Keep going.
I feel like the last 2 episodes have been a fast forward. Like, we've kind of been waiting for major changes this season, I feel like, all the time we talk about it. And episode 100 and 101 have been just on fast forward. We had graduation tonight, the ending of the Glee Club, all of these major things that have been kind of alluded to all season.
Right. I don't know how they could possibly keep up with this pace, because literally it's like the last few episodes have been a different show than the first half of the season. I know that a lot of fans were getting disappointed in Glee, and the Gleeks are back because the show is kicking butt. Honestly, especially these last 2. Like, come on. How do you not call yourself if you're an original Gleek, then you loved it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember a time when all of us have been so excited walking into the room, just being like, this was the best. And just so excited to talk about the episode. And so they're doing something right, obviously.
And I think the Glee creators and producers, they're very self-aware of the audience and their reactions to every episode. And when they realize that, you know, you bring in these new directions and people aren't really liking them as much as the original. So they have to change things up to keep that audience still going. And I think that was where their self-awareness came in. It was like, we got to change things. We got to switch up the story, bring our original people back to keep the fans happy.
And also because they did bring the original people back, I feel like they were like, all right, guys, we're doing this. Let's make it big. Since we're going to have all of the old crew and the new crew together, might as well milk it for all we can.
100%. They're also using it as this major transition. We have heard for a long time that the show is moving mostly to New York. And kind of tonight we saw the ending of the Glee Club, which, I mean, for me, like, as a person, all of us have watched from the very beginning, kind of painful. It felt like, you know, when you move out of your dorm room, it had that feeling of that empty space, like all these amazing memories that happened in that room when they were all gone.
absolutely. That's actually funny that you said that, because it reminded me of just that, moving out of my dorm room and sitting in the middle of the floor and looking around being like, remember what this once was and everything this meant, and they were sitting there, and yeah, I really got nostalgic about it. And I think that it was just fitting that we had April Rhodes back with us and Holly, and just the fact that they could all be a part of this episode, and we really did see the Glee Club coming to an end, and Will kept saying that, and Sue, and just everything.
I love that they still kept fighting even through this episode. Holly and April tried their darndest to keep the Glee Club alive, and even Will. And I feel like they gracefully said goodbye to it in this episode.
Yeah, I've been hearing from fans all week that this feels like, in a lot of ways, the end of the Glee that everyone knew. And that's like a very interesting place to be, because I think of a show like How I Met Your Mother that's ending next week.
Oh my goodness.
And like
So sad.
they're bringing back all of their old characters, and Glee in much the same way is doing that, but they still have another season and some change to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a weird thing because actually one of our one of the people who works here came in and said to Marissa and I when we were watching, like, what do you think is going to happen at the end of the series? And I was like, the end of the series? I'm wondering what's happening at the end of the season. Like, we're so far away from that point. And I just feel like you were talking about at this pace, and we're having all these things happening. Like, what more can happen? Oh my gosh. But clearly, I thought that a year ago, so a lot more can happen.
But I think that also just reflects life. When you graduate, where do you go? And like, if you move to a new town, you know, where do you go? Your life moves that fast, and you really don't know where life's going to take you. And I think, you know, emptying out the choir room, it was really sad because that's a character in and of itself. That's where everyone started. That's where everyone's kind of finishing.
Yeah.
And just like seeing the emptiness and that visual representation, it really lets us know that it is ending.
And how emotional was it to see Will in that room, and with the voices, especially Finn, for me personally, that's what just got to me.
I couldn't even pay attention to all of the other voices because I knew it was coming. I just kept saying, Marissa will vouch for me here. I was like, where's Finn's? Where's Finn's? Where's Finn's? And then it's so weird, and especially because we always watch with the subcaptions under the screen so that we don't miss a word, because, you know, sometimes things happen, whatever. So I'm reading it before we even hear it. It's just to see his name on the screen. It was such a bizarre feeling, and
It was just one of those things where we'll get into songs in a little bit here, but when they sang Don't Stop Believing, I turned to Sarah and I go, you know, who's missing from this is Corey. And then to hear his voice, you know, 10 minutes later.
Right.
And that's what I said to Rex. I was like, who's going to sing his part?
Yeah.
Who were they going to decide to go with to sing his part? You can't really.
Right, which is why I thought, even though the entire group took it on, that it was the most fitting that Kurt came out singing with Rachel, because who else would it be if not for him? And I did think, though, even though I thought that this number was amazing, it was one of my top 2 favorites of the episode. I really, really loved it. We had the whole projection thing going on, and I almost wanted to pull up a projection of him. I almost did, like a one line of the song. It was a subtle and enough thing to have his voice in the choir room, but I don't know. I just, like, it made me want to go back and listen to the old version over and over and over.
Yeah, I mean, that song is so funny because I just feel like for any Gleek, you can never get enough of it. Like,
I don't care. I don't care that this is the 3rd time. I
This
do
is
not
like the
care.
4th time.
Yeah, and somehow I feel like with any other song, we would be like, really? They're doing it again? Like, oh, okay, Glee. And this time I was just like, you know what? It's, again, and it has new meaning, and every time they do it, there's some new component.
And that song is Glee for me, because for me, when they first performed it, that was the moment when I was like, oh my gosh, they are so good. This is amazing. And it was like a powerful thing. So to go back to that in this episode specifically, I thought was perfect.
And you know, this song is Glee, like you just said, but the Glee fans still love it and can't get enough of it. I mean, the audience chose the song for them to perform.
Right.
Again, I admit I chose this song when we had the ability to vote what song you wanted.
Right, and I think that most importantly, or one of the most important things about it, is that if you actually break down the lyrics, at its core, this is what the show is about, and especially in light of everything that's happened with Corey and Finn, remembering these lyrics, it's really important, and it's a reminder to them, and it's a reminder to us, and because, as we talked about, it's life imitating art, imitating life, and it kind of, the lines are blurred. The song is like, well, it's corny, but don't stop believing.
Right,
you know?
and it also felt so fitting when they did the video montage for Will,
so cool,
to his future child, to have this kind of be the thing that was immediately after it.
I thought that video montage was brilliant. I did not see it coming. I thought it was an awesome way to incorporate their feelings for Will and the end of Glee Club and what they each said individually. I just thought that it was really smart and really cool.
There's such a legacy now with the character of Will and the room and the auditorium. It was such a good way to like tie that together.
Also, we have to give props to the writers who wrote something so specific for each of those characters that it just was like everything that each of their characters are about.
Sand-dollar.
I actually thought one of the coolest parts about that video was when we were sitting with, obviously, my fave couple, Santana, Brittana, and they're sitting there saying, I know that you think that, talking to the little kid, I know that you think that this is silly, that at one point in time, people judged women being with women and men being with men, but your dad was okay with that. And I think that that's so awesome, because if you think about like interracial marriage or any sort of like thing against religion or whatever it is, and now how far we've come with all of these different things, and how this right now gay marriage is still a thing, and we're all like, this is still a thing, and thinking about and hoping that by the time that kid is of age, it will no longer be a thing. And that was just such a cool mentality to have.
I also immediately went to the point of, I know I've watched some of my favorite shows back on Netflix and DVDs, and now some of those things, like they didn't have cell phones, you know, in when you watch Friends, things like that. And to go back, and we'll be able to watch Glee later on and be like, it's not a thing anymore. And that's pretty amazing.
That just goes to show how times have changed just within the last 5 years, because when this show started, that was still a controversial thing. Now it's more accepted, and that's just 5 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to add with the thoughts on the tribute video, what I thought was so cool about it is, you know, Glee Club is so focused on, you know, these kids being in the spotlight. And, you tend to forget that there's somebody behind inspiring these kids to be in the spotlight. And so it kind of shifted focus back on Will, saying like, your dad was the Fred Astaire of this
and
choir
dancing
room and dancing and
yeah, it's really crazy, because now I'm at the age where instead of having teachers, I have friends who are teachers, and they're
100%.
And it's such a bizarre thing talking to them and being like, you didn't really think of your teachers as people at the time, they were your teachers, but you don't think that they appreciate like the same kind of thank yous that you get. They write on your test A+, great job, but they never get that from you. So it's cool to see that these kids care about Will as much as Will cares about them.
And to also mention Will is a great dancer, we have to say he did an amazing dancing job tonight in Party All the Time.
He wasn't the only one. I mean
that was a dance party.
There's like absolutely one move where like Blaine's like totally rocking out. I'm like, that's my dance move, the goofy thing. You
and
get
Mike
it.
Chang with Gwyneth, with Holly, they were so
good.
I feel like the chemistry with them was cool dancing.
I loved it as a music video. Again, I wasn't sure how it fit into the episode particularly, but I loved it. I was like, I can't get enough of this.
Oh, absolutely. Marissa and I were confused as heck. We were sitting
We
there.
even rewinded.
Oh, we did too.
we watched it twice.
Marissa's like, did you catch that? And I'm like, but I don't. She's like, but we don't care. And then the best part about the whole thing, because sometimes Glee, there'll be the classic numbers that everybody loves, but we actually had somebody who is, I don't know if you guys know Joe Gear. He's an AfterBuzz veteran here. We love him. And he walked in and was like, I love this song. And I was like, yes, it's amazing. So I just think that it's cool that it's such a wide audience and people who can appreciate it. And this song, she totally rocked it. And honestly, I don't even really care how we got to the disco club. I don't care.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I know we come down hard sometimes on the random song selection in this room, but I was just like, this is so awesome. And they pulled out like all the stops for this that I don't care that it was super random. It worked for me.
Yeah, / like how fun would that be to film that? I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and all the bubbles.
Yes.
There's such a great energy about that performance.
I know. There really was. Also, like Gwyneth Paltrow, your body, man, like
rocking.
Are you serious with that thing?
Yeah.
And again, she's so talented with her singing and her dancing.
And her performance skills. It's crazy.
Right. I mean, this is such a fun song. It's funny. Like last week we were blasting Party All the Time as the Eddie Murphy version just last week in the studio, and then they had the song in tonight's episode of like, wow.
Right, but
That's awesome.
can you guys please explain to me, because I have not seen this movie. Marissa, you have seen it. I really didn't understand what was going on at the top. She walked in. We know it's Holly Holiday's thing to do this, like,
dressing up. Well, the character Temple Grandin, she was talking about the movie, but Temple Grandin is an actual real human person
Right,
who
they've
had
done documentary.
autism, who set up this awesome invention that actually helped the behavior of livestock in farming and stuff. So she revolutionized that in that way. But then I had like no idea how that related to party
Yeah,
all the time. There was the most random transition ever that did not make sense.
I think that's the point. Honestly, that must be the point, because there's no way it's going over all four of our heads. Like, it must be the point that she is so out there and random. / everybody loves her. How is she Sue Sylvester's best friend? I don't really understand. And April Rhodes and Will Schuster's. What?
But yeah, in the transition, I mean, it was funny, but borderline offensive, if not completely offensive.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
I still didn't mind the big awesome number that followed with that, but I still didn't understand the transition.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that there's always room for fun and learning, and that's like the biggest stretch that I can possibly make. And that's
Sure,
it.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way I could get there. So
Okay.
but you can tweet us and let us know what you're thinking.
By you can, she means we need you to, clearly.
Yeah. Yes, obviously we love hearing from you. You can also, go on iTunes, rate, comment. We love hearing it. I go on and read everything that you guys put up there, so it's really fun for us.
You guys are awesome on YouTube as well.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing comments.
The Gleeks are the best.
100%. So the other big thing that happened tonight, which I felt came out of nowhere, in all honesty, graduation tonight was like, whoa.
Well, we knew it was coming, but did we know it was happening tonight?
No, I thought
No.
it was a little further down the line.
And considering it's March and they usually run in real time, and graduation's not till another 2 months.
Right, but we knew we were off time-wise when we just had nationals, because usually nationals is closer to them. But I was just like, what? Honestly, when Tina even walked in the red robe, I was like, what is she doing in that robe? Like, why is she in that? And then I was like,
being nostalgic.
oh, yeah. I'm like, wait, I don't understand. And then I was like, oh, because she's walking? Like, what?
But in fairness, about like 2-3 episodes back, we did see them have the graduation robes, and they were talking about graduation, and then boom, it was tonight, and we had no warning.
And we
I
also,
think we were just so focused on Glee Club ending tonight that we didn't realize, like, oh shoot, there's gonna be maybe another big thing like graduation
Oh,
happening.
I mean, I knew that it was coming down the pipeline. I just didn't even think like, oh, they're gonna make both of those in one episode.
Right. Well, we knew, because we paid attention to the news and gossip, that we are moving to New York after this, so it kind of seems more realistic, and that we're not going to get a lot of the new directions on the show. So that probably should have tipped us off, but it was like, say it ain't so, why are we leaving McKinley? Yeah. Also, I'm a little confused about, I know that Emma's no longer going to be, but she wasn't in this episode tonight. At all, or last week's, and it was a little confusing to me.
It just felt like someone was missing.
Right.
I definitely noticed that she wasn't there. That's
With such
I know,
a big transition for Will, like you would think she'd be there to support him at least.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we can't always have everyone back in one episode, but we still have the original cast members, which I feel like someone always has to go. If you're going to bring someone back, someone else has to leave, and that was their balance there.
Trust me, I'm not complaining. Like, I would have loved to have Emma there. It was great, though. I mean, it's still everything that I could have asked for from these episodes.
Yeah, what about that one scene we get Ryder and Jake and Marley and all of them? That was like hysterical. Like,
It was a little,
hey guys.
Yeah, that was a muffin moment.
Oh, that was such a muffin moment. Hashtag muffin moment.
Muffin moment.
I love it.
But I feel like they had to give them a scene in the episode, and that was it.
Well, I mean,
It was sweet.
It was sweet. And I think as a junior, you would have that kind of, oh my gosh, these people that have been a part of our lives are leaving. And so it was nice to have that moment.
Right, but I don't know why. To me, when I closed my eyes, it felt like these were the actors talking about leaving the show. Like,
Right.
it was kind of a weird.
Well, you have to think, where does it go from here? Because there's no more Glee Club in McKinley.
Yeah.
And are they going to go jump ship to Carmel High?
or is there going to be some sort of a spin-off with the vocal adrenaline or what?
Yeah, I hope we get to see more of those characters in some capacity. I don't know.
Right, because we were completely strung along with this whole Marley and Jake and Ryder thing, so... Huh?
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
they could start their own band.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think that we have like a tight conclusion on that storyline yet. So I'm hoping that we
we don't have a loose conclusion. There's no conclusion. We're in the middle of the book.
But I did think it was good on the producer's part to give them at least one scene and have them reflect as well, because we saw everyone else's reflection on the ending of Glee Club, but their new perspective, because they are the newer
If
people.
no other word, it was necessary.
Yeah.
Like we
It's like you have to give it to them.
you have to.
Yeah.
Wasn't my favorite part of the episode, but I was like, all right,
No, but
okay,
they
sneak it in there.
makes sense.
They do deserve a scene to
Definitely.
voice their opinions as well. But sorry, going back to the graduation, it was just so fast, and I was just surprised they weren't singing during it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a celebratory song during that whole
it just
graduation
felt
ceremony.
there was so much in this episode that meant so much. The graduation kind of paled in comparison to like Don't Stop Believing and Will and
It was just something like, okay, they're done, graduating, and move on.
But
That
there
it.
was two really big moments of graduation for me. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. Number one would be Becky, where everybody gives the standing O, which was absolutely incredible.
the sweetest.
That was
Of course.
Yeah.
And Sue's reaction, and just giving her that big
Yeah.
hug.
I just the fact that everybody stood up and everybody was so excited, I just thought it was amazing, and she was so happy, and like you're saying, Sue's hug. And then number two, and obviously we'll talk about how we got to this point a little later on, but Brittany walking was so freaking cool, and that Santana did that for her, just like, you know, Britannia.
Yeah.
But I just love both those moments. But other than that, graduation, who?
The thing that was like more meaningful to me was when Tina, Blaine, Artie, and Sam all got together in the choral room and sang It's a Loser Like Me, a new version.
So that was my favorite number of the night.
Mine too. We agreed.
Agleeked. Okay.
Oh, that was so good.
Roxy has a lot to say.
I love that they slowed
So
it down
good.
like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I had to say, I think it was better than the original.
100p. Like I am. 100%. Sorry. Sometimes when I get really excited, I like make up my own words and stuff, whatever. I honestly thought the original was great. I thought that they did a great job. This version was like, boom.
Yeah.
Like, look how awesome we are. And also, Tina, where have you been my whole life? This voice is incredible that the last couple episodes, I'm just blown away by you and the song and the piano and you guys and just it was
Its harmonies were gorgeous.
Yeah. It's been a long time, honestly, where I've had a song on Glee that I was like, I immediately need to download it. I want to play it on repeat in my car. And this is what that song was for me. I was just like, I just couldn't get enough.
I agree, because Roxy and we immediately played the song after the episode.
we found it on YouTube right after because we didn't have time to get
So
it downloaded.
good.
It was so good. But I honestly was like, Marisa, how are we going to start this episode with this song? And she's like, Rox, it's too slow. And I'm like, Marisa, I don't care.
Well, maybe we can end the episode with that song.
Maybe. But you know what's great is because this is an original song that was originally on Glee. So, and I loved how they went with the creative choices with it, because it is their own song, so they can go any
They do whatever
other
the hell
way.
they want.
Exactly.
And they did.
And I love
How
the
cool.
second time around it was slower, more acoustic, more meaningful this time.
I also love when Glee can make something their own. I always talk about it on this show. And that felt like they not only did it once, the first time I loved that version of the song. I have it on my iPod. Like, I love it.
It was fun.
And then this one, it felt like a new song in so many ways.
Right, absolutely. I'm glad the first one came out first, though, because, you know, if this had come out at that time when they're trying to give some punch, this didn't give that sort of like, but it was like, listen to my words, listen close, lean into the TV. So cool. And talking about lyrics that really fit, like, just like picturing flashbacks of all these slushies and all these freaks. And I'm like, I'm a freak. And I'm a loser like you. And I'm a man. And
I feel
We're all
at home
Gleeks.
with you.
yeah, totally.
And it was so different because for a second I had to turn to Stephanie and say, wait, what is this song?
We played the original.
I didn't recognize
Yeah.
it. And then we had to go back and we played the original. Oh, that's right. That's
And
right.
I just remember them throwing slushies and the confetti and that.
Yeah.
Just like such a for lack of a better term, like a party number.
Yeah.
And then to have it be this like slow and so meaningful was amazing. Just
Right.
yeah, lyrically, you just heard it so
And it
much
fit
tonight.
into the episode talking about Tina not knowing what she was going to do. So I just was like, this number A works. B sounds incredible. C, like, what?
Yeah.
C, like, wasn't really a thing. It's just like,
is my favorite.
I think that another
Muffin.
thing that is going to be your favorite tonight. Let's get into Santana and Brittany.
Britannia.
oh my God. They're just like in love.
The lilies.
And they're totally going to Lesbos.
Yeah. Lesbo Island.
I loved it.
I mean, the lilies were just a start of something so sweet.
Like, I don't understand why people don't do that for me every day of my life. I feel like I'm a good person, and I feel like I'm a loser like them. So where are my lilies?
I feel
I'll
like
get you
people
lilies
probably
the next
try
time I see
Roxy.
you.
I'm fishing. I'm fishing right now. My birthday's July 13th, in case anybody wants to send me some lilies or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, beautiful.
I mean, so sweet. And also, what I love about that relationship is that they're so supportive of each other. Not just like, oh, we want to hold hands and be cute together, but it's like supportive of life choices and who they are as people. And I think that that's really rare in high school and just such a great example.
And also they'll call each other out.
Yeah.
Brittany can be real with Santana and like say like, hey, you really don't care about being on Broadway and your motives are not what you think it is. And then Santana did the same thing with Brittany.
Which I thought was really freaking cool. The one moment I was kind of curious about was when Santana said, I know that you don't want to be at MIT. That's not what your life is supposed to be. That's not what you want. And you also don't want to be with me. And I was like, Santana, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. I wish she never even said that because it's so not true. Because Brittany wants to be with you. She wants to go to the island. She wants to run away with you. But it made me really think about things. And okay, so I found something out this weekend. Actually, I think it was last week. And I want to know what your guys' opinion is on it. So apparently there's this thing about being compatible. And I didn't tell you guys this, did I?
Tell us.
Okay.
What is
No,
it?
go for it.
And you're supposed to ask somebody 3 questions to know if you're compatible. The first one is, do they like horror movies? The second one is, have they ever traveled in a foreign country alone? And the third one is, do they want to pick everything up and just go live on a boat somewhere? Okay, so those are the 3 questions that you're supposed to be compatible with somebody. Whatever. And I was thinking in this moment, like, does Brittany want to go pick up and live on a boat somewhere? And Santana's not into that. But then they were both into leaving and coming back, and it was just so cool.
Wait, so you're saying that they should answer the same way?
Yeah, you're supposed to answer the same way for all 3 questions, and then that's supposed to mean you're compatible. I know.
I'm questioning my
I'm like really
relationship.
thinking right now.
I know.
I was going to say, though, I feel like Santana and Brittany, I think they were very compatible in those 3 questions. When
Okay,
I
so
think,
horror movies, yes, they would both like them, we think?
yes.
Okay, have you ever traveled alone in a foreign country?
Well, I think more in this case it would be,
Would you?
Would you?
And I think they both would. Do you think they both would?
Yeah.
And then would they pick up everything and just go live on a boat?
Absolutely.
I kind of think they would.
yeah, I mean, they're
Because
talking about
Brittany's
going to
going
an
to drop
island, yeah.
MIT
Yeah.
and Santana dropped her life to go to New York. So
They don't care. They're so in love.
they're
Right.
put them together, they'll do anything.
Well, they
together.
are going to Lesbo Island, so they have to take a boat to get there.
And then they're going to Hawaii, and it's like,
Then they're coming back.
again, where's my Hawaii trip? I just don't get it.
You know who I have more questions about, though, in terms of compatibility? Puck and Finn. Quinn. Sorry, as I'm talking very
No,
quickly.
you got it. You got
quick.
Quinn.
We were thinking about
Quick.
Finn, that's why.
Quinn and Puck. You know what? I like them together now. I admit I wasn't the biggest Quinn and Puck fan when they first started out because I'm like, Quinn, you could do so much better. Puck is such a bad boy. You don't belong with them. But now that Puck has gotten straightened out his life, he's a good guy. I can see it. I really can.
There's nothing better than a bad boy who's an actual good guy.
I was going to say, reformed bad boy.
Yeah,
is-
baby.
And then in a uniform.
Yeah.
And they're so cute together, though.
They are so cute
adorable.
together. And I do know what you mean. Obviously, they're not Britannia to me, but I still love them. But I did get an interesting tweet from a fan today, and I really appreciate it. I'll try to pull it up at the end of the episode to give them credit. But they were saying how sad it was to look at Rachel's face when the 2 of them were singing their song because it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we're rubbing stuff in her face, But she is happy for everyone, and she is trying. But it's just hard when we're talking about having like these replacement couples when Finchel was Endgame for us, you know? So it was a really weird moment, but I do like Puck and Quinn. Who knows if they are Endgame or if they'll make it, but for now, I think it works.
I agree. I mean, there are like some of the originals, and I do appreciate that coupling. I just wasn't sure, like, exactly if they're endgame. Like, I do appreciate them right now as a couple. I just don't know that they are the couple that I think of being together forever.
It's enough right now in the way that they're relating to each other that it feels like it's worth the shot. It's worth seeing how it plays out at the very least.
I appreciate the fact, though, that they didn't try to jump to an engagement or something crazy. It was just like, I accept dating you, and I would rather be with you than anybody else. And I thought that was a fair place to be at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give credit to Aaron Kelly, who was the one who tweeted that, at EKKelly77.
Yeah. And Quinn did mention the line that like Puck was the only person she could be truly honest with, and I think that's what you need in your significant other, someone who you can be truly yourself with and be honest.
Right, but that's not the only thing you need in a significant other.
I'm not saying that's the only,
right,
but it helps.
Absolutely. I mean, it is very important. It's necessary. It just, you never know with other things, but I do think that they are compatible as of now. When we're talking about who lives together or whatever, but she did have this amazing quote. You guys know I'm obsessed with the quotes. I gotta find it. I'd rather do hard with you than easy with anyone else.
That's a phenomenal.
Are you serious?
line.
Like, that's everything. That is everything.
But that shows that they're willing to work at the relationship. Even though we as an audience, as a collective whole, might not think they're good together, they are going to work hard at a relationship. And no relationship should be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Or
love...
it can be easy.
Right, it can be easy. Because usually they're the best ones are the hardest ones.
What did you guys think about their announcement that they made in the choir room?
That they're gonna be boyfriend and girlfriend.
So cute.
They made it a thing. Like, they made it a point to announce it.
Well, it seemed like she hadn't told him the answer, which is cute.
That was really like a cute way of doing it and felt very Glee to me, in all honesty. I loved also their performance tonight.
I loved the song.
Yeah, it's Pink's Just Give Me a Reason, and it's a fun one. I always like them together. I do enjoy them together as a musical pairing as well. So their voices go weirdly well together.
Yeah, they really do. She has such an angelic voice. But I have to point this out. Even though I know we voted on these songs and I thought the song sounded amazing, and when I looked at it visually, they were so happy and it was so cute, but it's so not what this song is about, and I'm so into lyrics that it's kind of confusing. Like, this song is a breakup song pretty much.
I don't think it's a breakup song. I think it's a song about a relationship that's already having a hard time while they're together. They're just having a rough time together, and then I feel like this is their relationship. They were together, they were apart, and now they're back together again. They're having their ups and downs, so much like the lyrics, because the lyrics are saying we're not broken, we're bent. It shows that they're having
to love again.
Yeah,
they're
but not
having
love
hard
each
times.
other again. It's we're not broken, just bent. Like, give me. I just think of it as you broke up with somebody else and you're trying to move on and learn to love again with someone else. It didn't work for me, the song, but I thought that they did an amazing job, and I think that they had to use the song after we voted on it, and it was the only people who could use it. So, but it still lyrically just was kind of off.
Okay, so you didn't love the song selection, but you thought the performance was
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Loved
You
it.
get me.
Love.
Loved it.
Got it. So let's talk about New York. This big change that's happening. They're all going to New York now, and I guess
Except for Tina.
Tina is going to Brown, which is huge for her. I think that's been her goal for a long time, so it was nice to see her achieve that.
I find it amazing how all these people can easily get into the schools that they want to, the colleges.
No worries.
They always give us the scare, oh, I didn't get in. Oh, but I did.
You know,
I'm
isn't
like,
that the way that it works for everyone? I feel like that's...
I mean, it's good for Glee. I get it. That's not real life, but if they're going to like make it at least a little bit realistic, have someone not get into their dream school.
I was gonna say a wait list. Anyone?
Yeah, with Blaine getting into NYADA also, and Tina getting in. Can we
And
just
Kurt got into NYADA too.
I know. Yeah. I just need to take a minute to discuss Tina. I'm confused. Tina's adopted and kind of Jewish, half Jewish. Is that?
Did we know Tina was adopted?
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
And is she Jewish, or is she just applying to the Jewish school? Is she half Jewish? The Cohen part's Jewish?
Is Cohen Jewish?
Cohen is a Jewish
Cohen
name.
is usually Jewish.
Well,
Typically, not always, but a lot of times.
Yeah.
she is.
Half.
We got confused with that. We're like, maybe she is half Jewish.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they mention it. Maybe I'm trying to remember now, her mother, it didn't seem new to me, but I remember there being something about that previously, but I think that it's not been obviously a huge part of her character, so maybe that's why it became somewhat of a surprise.
Which just made me realize, as much as I think I know about most of these characters, I'm like, Tina girl, I don't know that much about you.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the sad part, because we've seen like family members of everyone else, the father, brother, here and there, but we haven't seen any of Tina's family.
Did we ever get Artie's family?
And Blaine,
We got Artie's mom.
we know that Blaine wants more of his family
Yeah.
to be shown too.
Well, we
so.
saw
Blaine's
brother,
Yeah.
but even that, like, we see at least one family member from everybody else, but we haven't seen anybody from Tina's, which I think they should do that so we can help build Tina's background and her character, because we're always
no
saying
wonder.
Tina's not a strong person. I was like, well, no one's taken the freaking opportunity to build her character and her backstory.
I know, it's interesting. Yeah.
Sorry, that's just me getting upset
really
that
riled up.
Asians are not getting appreciated in the show.
You know what we can
Yeah, speaking of which, I miss Mike. Mike is amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree. You know what we can appreciate though, Marissa? That they went for it tonight and did a chums or friends
That was awesome.
little like
That was so
flash.
cute.
I don't even know what to call it. Like
I mean, considering Friends is like,
sequence?
other than Glee, which I'm obsessed with, the best show of all time.
Comic.
I just thought that this was amazing and wanted to see more of this. How did this come about?
Well, we mentioned in News and Gossip a few weeks ago that Leah Michelle thought that all of them going to New York was going to be like Friends.
Right.
So this was
Right.
a little like, her interview was a little call out to this moment, I feel like.
Just brilliant.
Yeah.
And where'd you come from?
It was funny. It was hysterical. It made me think that the time when Tina fell into the fountain and then knocked her head, and she had this whole alternate life, the
Muppet one?
No, that was
the-
Blaine's.
oh.
But that was like season 3 graduation episode. But and then having Tina have another parallel universe going on in her head, and then like even the 5-minute or whatever how long this small funny segment was with all of them in the same apartment, having the comedic side like in front of a live kind of sitcom version, and even having the laugh track underneath it. I was
Yes,
like,
that was
it would
the
be
best.
awesome to have like a whole Glee episode just like that.
Yeah.
I would not mind that one bit.
Also, the diner being the coffee shop. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Amazing. And I just like really needed them to have an entire episode. I need them to call it Chums or Friends, whatever. I don't care. I need it to be an entire 44 minutes or whatever it is. I didn't get enough of it, although I understand because we had a lot to discuss tonight. We wouldn't have really been able to work that into an entire Chums episode. But just pure genius.
But a great little
some fun,
parody.
yeah.
And I love that they kind of switched up the girls' looks too to match the characters from Friends.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Monica, anyone?
Also, Sam is a blonde Joey, so just awesome.
But it was their fun just glimpse at what New York life could be.
Exactly. And then we also saw Mercedes and Rachel. I don't know, or I guess, sorry, Rachel and Santana. I don't know what I'm saying tonight.
It was after the Mercedes and Rachel from last week, so on the topic of rekindling.
Right. So Rachel and Santana trying to like rekindle that relationship before everyone makes the big move to New York.
Right. I thought it was really interesting that they both caved tonight. Rachel caved saying, I will give you 10 performances, which, in my opinion, knowing Rachel Berry is huge.
That's a
So
lot.
out of
Because
character.
Rachel never gets sick. Her voice never, there's no way she was going to miss a performance, and saying, I will give you 10. You can take them all together. You can take them specific days. You can invite your
choose,
family.
yeah.
You choose. I will give you 10 performances. That is effing huge.
Yeah.
And then Santana turning that down. And then Santana coming full circle and saying she was going to drop completely. I was not expecting that.
I was
Right.
also, when Santana didn't accept that initial offer, I was just like, what does she want? Like,
Yeah.
Rachel is
Like
giving
Rachel's
her
compromising right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I was so irritated with Santana in that moment because she had the opportunity to just drop it right then and there.
Wait, were you original Team Santana?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she
But
was.
then I switched teams.
Yes.
Okay. But I thought that it was interesting because when they were originally having the conversation, Rachel says, I just don't get it. And Santana said, yep. And I was thinking to myself, what don't we know? And it is kind of true that Rachel wasn't understanding the bigger picture in terms of the way that Brittany understood Santana's bigger picture. You know, this wasn't about what Rachel was thinking. Like, she's just trying to take me down. This is about Santana. This is not what she wants to do, and this is what came to her, and she wants to be in, you know. And Rachel could never have been that person. It had to be Brittany. Yeah. But they just sometimes they don't see eye to eye, and that happens amongst friends.
Yeah, but I'm glad that they finally capped that storyline off because we had to have resolution. This fight has been ongoing for good 5 episodes already, so they had to wrap that up.
Are we gonna get them back as roommates?
Hopefully.
They were talking about that.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're gonna see a lot of people in that apartment. It would be my guess.
Good thing it's huge because, of course, we can afford that in New York.
Yeah, exactly. What did we think of their performance tonight? Rachel and Santana, of course, sang "Be Okay," which is...
It was cute.
I thought that they did a really good job. Again, I had a little bit of an issue with the song selection.
Yeah.
I just feel like we could have picked something incredible. They have 2 of the best voices on the show.
That was my issue, is that I love these 2 together, and I think they have amazing voices. And this song was, while it wasn't their fault, it was just a little underwhelming.
It was a cute ditty.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, like that was sweet, and yeah.
Simple.
Yeah,
I think the only reason why they picked the song was the lyric choices. It fit the best with the storyline that was going on. That they are okay with each other. I believe we'll be okay. That was one of the main lyrics, and it makes us as the audience believe that they're gonna be okay as friends and move on.
But it was called "Be Okay," and it was just
honey.
okay. You know, like
Yeah, it was.
and
I think, but
again,
that was the only reason why they probably had the song was just because the lyrics matched the storyline.
Right, it would have been kind of weird if they sang a song about being best friends. So I understood that, but I don't know. I just think we could have.
I think there's so many better friendship songs out there that they could have sang.
Making the past or something like that, or moving on, or taking something to the next
or
level.
like New York City.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, that's what I'm really excited about, is to have everyone in New York and
I know,
and like see what kind of amazing performances they do there, because I think that's going to open a whole new...
And having Adam Lambert still there, it's like...
There's going to be so much new.
Yeah,
it's going to be exciting.
Exactly.
New
but
directions.
Before we
New directions.
move on to new directions.
New York directions.
We,
Muffin.
Do we like that? Amazing. We have not talked about the first song of the night, though, I Am Changing, which is, of course, a Dreamgirls song, and Kurt and Mercedes sang it. I really enjoyed this performance. I thought they did a really nice job of it. Mercedes stole it for me, in all honesty.
She's so good.
Oh, yeah. That's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, I can't hear Kurt. I can only hear Mercedes.
It's so her style, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's her vocal range, and that is the Dreamgirls, performance.
Right. I thought that she knocked it out of the park. I thought Kurt did a good job. It wasn't as much geared towards him as it was towards her. For the first song of the night, I was like, okay, I'll buy it. But it didn't blow me away like Don't Stop Believing did. Or a couple other ones tonight.
That was another song, though, where it was like, how did we get into this? So they were arguing over tater tots.
Yeah, and it just...
then they made up.
And then they're like, that's petty.
Yeah, but
now let's sing a song together.
But it's funny because I believe there was actually an episode back in season 1 where Mercedes was talking about tater tots, and that was, I think, if I remember correctly, that was the episode where Mercedes was like questioning her weight and all that stuff.
You
and
baffle
like
me.
even remembering
that she remembers those little things, right?
The choices of eating that she shouldn't eat tater tots. So I think they just brought it back to that for some odd random reason.
You literally are a Gleepedia.
Yeah.
Like,
Gleepedia.
What?
Random things stick with me.
Sure. Yeah. Like, don't you guys remember that exact moment? It was actually minute 32, second 60. I guess that would make minute 33. In episode, like,
Tomato.
I mean,
Same thing.
amazing.
We're all Gleeks, but you got some serious.
You take it to another level.
Yeah.
We're super proud of you for it.
Nerd.
We love you on the show.
That being said, ready for some news and gossip?
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So Chris Colfer is obviously more than just an actor. He's written numerous things, including his own book and Struck by Lightning, which is a movie that I think has Sarah Hyland from Modern Family.
That's a good movie. Have you seen it?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
I have not seen it yet. I need to.
Very good.
Obviously
Go
Netflix
watch it.
So he has a children's novel, I guess, series now, which is crazy.
Cool.
But he's also going to be writing an episode of Glee, which
Yes!
I'm super excited about. That's
awesome.
going to be amazing. And he says, usually when I'm writing a project, it only affects me, but now it affects everyone I'm working with. Sometimes I want to torture my castmates a bit.
But I do feel like who's better to write it than him? He knows them so well and all the
Right.
characters. Cool.
What an opportunity for him that they would let him do that. That's crazy.
Shows that they love their cast and that's awesome.
I think it'd be good for him because even watching Struck by Lightning movie, he knows how to write the voices of so many different people.
Yeah.
Of people of his age. So I think it's perfect opportunity for him to speak for everyone.
Yeah, he says that he's been stuck in his character's head for 6 years, and so now it's time to explore everybody's character.
When are we going to get that? Do we have any idea?
We don't yet. I'll be sure to keep you updated.
Oh, thank you.
I know.
Thank you, Steph.
I know.
I gotta keep you
right?
around. I gotta keep you guys around. Always need a muffin, you know.
This episode was all about nostalgia as well, and Don't Stop Believin', kind of definitely rung true to all of us. And I believe BuzzFeed did an interview with the cast talking about that first experience filming Don't Stop Believing, and they talk about that it felt like camp at the time. They didn't really all know each other. Kevin McHale says it felt like camp at the time because we're all trying to figure out what this show was. None of us knew what we were doing. And then Lea Michele says, we got into trouble. We got in trouble for goofing off during Matthew Morrison's coverage. So, like, they had a really good time, and I think it was at this point, I've heard in past interviews that they kind of knew that this show was going to be
Something special.
something special. And Amber Riley says it's the first time we got in trouble with Ryan, but it happened many times after. So they definitely, and it took them, this is my favorite part actually, it took them a day and a half to shoot. They re-choreographed it 12 times.
Oh my God.
Think about how long all of these numbers would take if that's what they did for everything. So that's crazy to think about. And
now they're just like in, out, on, 5.
And I'm so glad they took them that many times to get it right, to make it that memorable the very first time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was the number that either it was the very end of the pilot episode in 2009.
Yes, it was.
And so
Make or break.
It was make or break. And I think they did the pilot, if I recall, that May before the fall season premiered. They premiered it after American Idol.
Oh, wow.
And so it was one of those things where you were either hooking audiences or you weren't. And, you know, I would think that the season was in
And then
jeopardy.
Glee was a sensation.
Because
Immediately.
didn't Glee had that weird break? They aired like the first 5 episodes, and then they waited all these months to air the rest of the season.
I believe you. I
believe you, Marissa.
Yeah, I just remember that the first episode aired after, I believe, the American Idol finale.
But
So
what
it
a good launch pad.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you have Lea Michele talking about how, we've talked about it on the show, Rachel Stiles' evolution. The evolution of Rachel's style is huge on this show. And she says that what's funny is that it's had different vibes over the years, from quirky to, you know, sexy and all these different things. She's loving what they're doing in New York right now, which is a little sexier. But she says that actually some fans really loved the, like, sweater wearing Rachel from high school. And she said everyone thought that was sexy, and I've got like a bulldog on my sweater. So I just think that it's really funny that she and fans can appreciate all of that.
Did you notice that she was a little bit more like her old Rachel self
Yeah.
during Don't Stop Believing?
Yeah.
I loved her outfit, by the way, in that song.
Yeah.
But it was such a
I
tribute
noticed
to
that.
old her.
I thought it was so funny when Marissa and I actually paused in the invitation for Will to come into the room, and it said attire, jeans and sweater vest, tie optional, which was just so cute, and like how everybody's style. Yeah, it's cool.
Adorable. Really, really sweet. So run to do predictions. I mean, we've talked a
you,
little bit.
You know, before we actually do that, sorry. I know Roxy and I, when we were watching it, we were talking about how they were supposed to have another number in tonight's episode, the Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah.
And I was reading the news, like, it actually did get cut because April Rose was supposed to sing it along
And
with
Will.
And Will. But thinking, had they kept that number in this episode, how would they transition into that?
And what would they have not in the show?
Yeah.
I did see that on the initial song list when I looked it up a few days ago, so that is true. That was missing tonight.
Yeah, but thinking, like, the whole storyline that was going on in this tonight's episode, I don't think it fit either.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary, so
Yeah.
I'm glad they made the executive decision to not air it.
To cut it. But it is available.
Yeah.
So,
And
for all
night?
you Glee fans who still want to listen to it.
Which I'm sure is every single one of us. Like running to my computer right now.
Yes.
But, sorry, I just had to mention that. So.
No, that's
Nice
good mention.
behind the
for
scenes
sure.
tidbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Predictions? Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
This is gonna be the best day of my life. That's in it. Thank you,
you go.
Marissa. Don't like you two as much.
I can't leave you
I
hanging.
was like, wait.
Yeah, we see that in scenes for next week. Come on.
I mean, that's a fun song. I mean, I think they're all going to get together, sing big numbers in New York, and just hit up the town.
More
Paint the
importantly,
town.
cut.
Oh,
cut.
yeah.
Sam's hair's coming
Oh
off.
my gosh, his model dreams are gonna come to life.
You're like, why are you touching my hair?
No, I was just like, wait, what? Oh, that's hilarious because I've seen Cord Overstreet. I think I've mentioned on the show before. I see him out and about all the time. And
Look at you fancy, huh?
Sorry,
When-
Steph, where are you
Hollywood.
hanging out?
when I like literally am going to the grocery store, it's nothing too exciting. But that being said, he's about, and yes, his hair is now shorter. So
So you mean you watch the show with him and he's a good buddy of yours?
you know it because
Yeah,
I don't ever watch the show with you, Roxy.
That's actually true.
That is true.
But you have me, Steph.
I know. I watch with Sarah. It's cool. Don't worry. But yes, his hair is shorter, so I'm excited to see what that does on the show for him.
I'm coming grocery shopping with you.
Yeah.
Please do.
And I'm actually curious whether they cut it on the show or whether he cut it, they put extensions in, then they cut it, or how they did that. Mm-hmm. If you guys know, let us know.
But, you know, moving to a big city, you're changing your life. You need a change. You need a physical change. That's what Rachel did when she moved to New York. She changed her whole outfit, her whole wardrobe and stuff.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very fitting for Sam to get over his long ponytail that seriously needs to be cut.
And I know that there are issues to come because everybody living in New York can't be all fun,
Yeah.
but
No.
I really hope the next episode we just are hit with like barrels of laughs. Like, this is amazing! So that when those problems come, we can remember the good times.
Utopia of New York.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be, if the past seasons of Glee have been any indication, a real roller coaster of where it's going. Because I think you're going to have more of the drama, especially if they're all living together. Because we know some of the seniors mentioned living together. And then you have, you know, Santana and Rachel living together. There's going to be drama, but I just hope that they can have those light moments as well.
I think Santana might actually move out of the apartment now that she's going to be with
Yeah.
Brittany.
True.
Well, I don't know. They'll probably share a room, so.
Maybe.
Share a bed, share a room. For some reason, I think that Adam Lambert's character is going to get in the middle of
Blaine and I know.
Blaine and Kurt
Because
for a
we
little
saw
bit.
that saw that little
Yeah.
thing with the kissy and the phone and the whatever.
Yeah.
Are we
We
gonna see
never picked
Becky
that up.
anymore? Do we know?
I don't know.
I'm not ready to let her go.
No,
Maybe
I think
she'll like Skype in or something like that.
I mean, I think every time we'll see Sue, we'll see Becky.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, maybe
Fair.
Sue will hire Becky as a personal assistant. Now that she doesn't work at this, or she's not a student, just as a personal employee.
All I
That's a
can say
good
is I'm 100% not ready to let her go. Let any of them go. I don't want to like say goodbye to McKinley yet.
I mean, we
but-
just got some of them back. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well,
We're all like,
oh, Glee. Well, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us. You can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
you can find me at Roxy Striar.
You can find me at Sarah with an H Mendoza.
And I'm on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
See you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, Glee!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.